Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Today is January 27th, 2017. First off, thanks to the person who sent me Monero. You know who you are. You rock it, man. All right, so we've got some awesome guests here on the show today. We're going to jump right into it. I'm going to tell you about these dudes. You know them all from, they've got their own channels. They're famous. Alex Fortin, he's out in Western Canada right now. He's got a great show out there. Just Google his name. I'll link to his show below. I really like him because he's a guy that tells people, be your own boss. Just don't sit there. Don't be like don't wait for it to come to you. You come and get it. You be proactive. You be the businessman. You be the man. Now we got Bitcoin Globe also. He is a young up-and-comer. He's got his channel out there. I love him because he's always talking about the Bitcoin halving that's going to happen in 2020. And, that's a good forward-thinking attitude there. And then we've got the legend Tone Vays. You all know who he is. I talk him up every single day. He's a controversial figure. He speaks all over the country about Bitcoin. He's a hardcore Bitcoin fan. So, Alex, say hello to everyone. Alex.
Hey, Adam.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, good. Bitcoin Globe, say hello.
Hello, everyone. Only 1,247 more days until the next Bitcoin halving.
All right, Tone Vays, what's up with you?
Hey, guys. Glad to be on. I'm actually busy. This is earnings season for me with the traditional trading. So I'm in my own world, equities right now than Bitcoin. But it's good to be on these shows. It keeps me up to date.
Yes. All right. So there was one specific question, and I am going to read the question here. It was for Tone Vays, and it's very interesting because Tone and I, we talk about being like Bitcoin maximalist. Tone over and over and over and over again. People ask him about various altcoins, and he'll be just like, dude, I don't know. This is a scam. I never heard of it. And I think everyone out there, if they have a question for Tone, they understand who Tone is. So I don't exactly get why everyone keeps asking Tone about specific altcoins. And I'm not trying to be a crypto snob, and we're going to get into this. But the question for Tone is, what is his opinion of ChronoBank? And I looked up what ChronoBank is, and it's like an ICO type of deal. And an ICO is an initial coin offering. You can get in on a coin before it goes public, help them fund it, all this stuff. And Tone has commented on these things before. So sometimes when I think, and there's nothing against the guy who asked this question, because every question is a good question. But I think sometimes people ask these questions kind of like to assure themselves, like, this has got to be real. This has got to be real. This has got to be real. So on one side of the spectrum, we have cloud mining, which all of us know is like a 99% scam. And then we've got ICOs, altcoins, and all of this. So, Tone, where does crypto snobbery begin? And where does, we are public guys in the Bitcoin world. We're trying to look out for people here. We don't want people getting screwed by cloud mining and legit, because, I said the other day on my show, cloud mining is illegitimate. And some people said, I'm glad you said that, Adam, as I did not know it. So Tone, take it away and tell us what you think of ChronoBank. If you really think anything of ChronoBank, I think most everyone knows is what you're about to say with that.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me, I'm just going to share my screen real quick. I just Googled ChronoBank. What I'm looking for is a specific Skype conversation. Oh, man. I wish I can do like a more...
Okay. Now, when you're looking for that Bitcoin Globe, tell us your opinion of all that.
Yeah, you know what? Get back to me,
Bitcoin
guys.
Globe.
Get back to me.
Bitcoin Globe. What do you think of that?
My opinion is pretty. I've lost a lot of money. I've lost a lot of Bitcoin in these cloud mining schemes. Even some of the bigger ones, like what's the Genesis mining and Bitmain's, the Hashnest one. I put a lot of Bitcoin into them, and I've never gotten any of it back. So the only exception I would say to that is the pack mix on Hashnest. they'll make you a little bit of Bitcoin as of right now, but it's not like a huge amount. You're not going to get rich off it. And I feel like that's what most people are trying to do when they get into cloud mining or when they get into altcoinings. They want to make a quick buck. They want to make some money. They want to make more of this cryptocurrency. Especially me, when I first learned about Bitcoin, it like opened my eyes, and I was like, wow, I need more of this. I want more of it. And the greed takes over, and the energy of greed is negative. So if you're pursuing these negative channels, they're not going to reward you. And I get comments on my videos every day. I don't approve them, but I'm getting lots of them to advertise their cloud mining, and they're just scams. And I've never approve them, but they keep. Go ahead.
I think that's an important thing, and I also pointed that out in my other video. Every day they're spamming our channels with this stuff every day, so it's a joke. Now, Alex, what do you're a guy who tells people you want people to make money by themselves, do their thing. Where is the dividing line for you? How far do you go here? Do you like to talk about ICOs? And I'm not saying, obviously ICOs are not the same thing as cloud mining, but there is risk involved, and some of them are total scams also. So tell us your opinion on when does one become a crypto snob and say, but when should one experiment, in your opinion?
Right. So I think just like, I think the ICO world is filled with speculation, and it's kind of like going to the casino. So if you want to have some fun and you're willing to lose your money, you're going to lose it. You have more chance to lose it. Then it's okay, right? You just got some play money. But if you're serious about investing, you're not going to buy, invest thousands of dollars based on a piece of paper that's on the internet and a nice looking website, right? So usually you want to wait, months and years to see what's the software they're pushing out, and then you can make a better investment decision. So yeah, I'm very, very cautious, and I don't advise anybody to invest in ICO or cloud mining, same things.
So I think Alex actually brings up a really good point about ICOs. Some of them have the nicest looking websites out there, and I think that could be really misleading. So ChronoBank Tone, you're about to get on that. Tell us what's going on. Tone. Oh man, you've got it.
My bad. No.
Okay.
My bad.
Good.
Okay, so let's do ChronoBank first real quick. I actually have looked at ChronoBank before, and this is why I wanted to get to my Skype chat. So there was a message on November 15th. Tone, please share your thoughts on the following two projects. And I totally forgot to take a look at them because I'm just so busy. And then earlier this year, I replied back, and here's what I wrote. Sorry, I forgot to take a look back then. The first one, ChronoBank, is simple, 100% scam. It is a waste of time for me to even do anything beyond the 1 minute I just spent looking at their website. So I had already forgotten that I looked at ChronoBank before. So I'm taking a look at it now. Click to the About page. And this will be very, very simple to realize what a scam this is. So let's take a look. ChronoBank is an ambitious and wide-ranging blockchain project aimed at disrupting the HR, recruitment, and finance industries in a simple way to how Uber disrupts taxis. Okay, so, and they're ICOing, right? So they have their own token. So here's the stupidity of this, and it's no different than all these other ICOs. And this is why I have my podcast, which I'm going to talk about in a second. The HR, recruitment, and finance, first of all, they don't need a blockchain. They don't need a blockchain because there is no bearer instrument involved in this process. You don't want to lose your employee by sending their identification to India by accident. Okay, so obviously you don't need people to be a bearer instrument. So what we're talking about here is the financial mechanism to pay people as the disruptive mechanism. And that's fine. Bitcoin already does this if you don't want to use the US dollars. So all they're doing here is just saying Bitcoin is too complicated, use our token. So this is no different than eBay back in the year 2000 deciding to create eBay dollars and forcing everyone to use eBay dollars, not even eBay dollars, sorry, eBay stock. People have to go and buy eBay stock, which fluctuates in value, to then buy things from eBay with eBay stock. This is all they're doing. I think is just, it's such an obvious scam. I've already spent more time talking about it than I need to, and because people have nothing to do with any of these other coins, scrolling too fast. You have all these coins that have been invested in CryptoBank. Here they all are, and I mean, Litecoin's okay. Bitcoin
wait, no, wait a second. So, wait, Tone, you're saying that those other coins that you're pointing to, like NEM there, that part of the reason they're going up in value is because people are using them to invest in stuff like this? Or am I jumping
pretty
ahead?
much. No, that's not why they're going up in value. That's why they're going to be going down in value, because people now feel that all these other tokens have reached their ceiling, and they're now trading them in for the next and greatest token, which they will then sell to the greater fool. And this is why playing this whack-a-mole game with altcoins is kind of silly, and you will always lose money because no one is holding them for any long-term use. They're only holding them until another ICO comes along. They will dump them that ICO, and then the next time there is another ICO, you will see CryptoBank tokens being used to invest in that other ICO, and eventually this entire house of cards is going to come down.
You know, it's a never-ending circle there. That is an interesting theory. I like that. Now, you did say something about altcoins and they don't have many uses, and that's a good segue into actually the Litecoin situation. And Litecoin was not created as a scam. I think everyone can agree with that. It's almost like Bitcoin. But what is about to happen in the Litecoin world is very intriguing. And I have made a promise to my viewers that every week I'm going to try to bring up an altcoin on this show. So this week we're going to talk about Litecoin and the situation, how they want to do segregated witness. And actually tomorrow the miners can start signaling, or, you know, I'm not a technical guy, but eventually this coming few weeks, starting tomorrow, Litecoin might implement SegWit, segregated witness, which is something in the Bitcoin world that is very, very contentious. And I say that if Litecoin does this and it starts working on Litecoin, this is going to help the Litecoin price, but it's going to put a lot of pressure on Bitcoin to get their act together. The people who are on the fence, like, this segregated witness, I don't know about it, that they'll be inspired by Litecoin. So I'm going to ask Bitcoin Globe, what do you know about this? What is your Litecoin thought and this current situation with Litecoin?
Litecoin for me is a test net. I'm not too knowledgeable about Litecoin, but I feel like all coins, is just my opinion and probably influenced by you guys in a lot of ways, is that they're just a test net for Bitcoin. I don't want to have to sift through all these different coins or shapeshift them back and forth, and I just lose so much value shapeshifting them. Like, oh, I think Dash is going to go up this week, so I shapeshift the Dash, or whatever other cryptocurrency is the flavor of the month to try to make more Bitcoin. They're just, I don't know, I'm not really interested in them anymore. I used to play around with them. Now it's just too confusing for me. I'm very simple-minded. For me, it's like Bitcoin. And if I'm interested in gold and silver as well. And people call Litecoin the silver to Bitcoin, and I don't really buy into that. I feel like silver is silver, Bitcoin is Bitcoin, gold is gold. Like, if you want to invest in any of those, go ahead, go for that. But Litecoin being the silver to Bitcoin, I'm not sure if I buy into that. I am interested to see what SegWit does with Litecoin. I'd like to see what it does with Bitcoin. I would like to have, less transaction fees and be able to send my Bitcoin quicker. So if Litecoin helps pave the way, I'm definitely interested in seeing what happens there.
All right, Alex, how about you in this Litecoin switch situation? Do you have any thoughts about Litecoin and segregated witness and all related matters?
Right. I think that there's a lot of self-interest bias with the people that are, promoting one way to the other. Personally, I think I'm not entitled on an opinion unless I can state the opposite side better than they can themselves. And so, it's like the Earth warming, right? I mean, 95% of scientific says, for many years that the Earth has been warming, but there's still people that are fighting against it. And I think that SegWit is kind of similar. It's more of a scientific thing. So, it doesn't, if 95% of science gentlemen agree on something, I think, it's silly to want to fight it. So,
okay.
And I don't think Litecoin will ever become, just falling down for 3 years now. It's just so strong in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't think, Litecoin is just like, you said it's a test net.
All right. Now I know Tone agrees with it, how it is a test net, but the fact that it is going to become the test net of something very, very important for Bitcoin, could this be the high point of Litecoin ever? I mean, this is something big in terms of proving the viability of SegWit. So Tone, take it away.
All right, I'm going to talk about the Litecoin first, but I have something else to comment on because anyway.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to SegWit being adopted on Litecoin. Of course, I'm disappointed that SegWit is not getting any traction on Bitcoin. And all right, so it'll go to Litecoin, and it'll eventually be adopted in Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't think it will be the high in Litecoin. I mean, Litecoin did hit $50 a coin, and it's still down there at $3 to $4. People don't realize how difficult it is to switch between currencies. And so and I do see Litecoin as a testnet. I don't see all these alts as a testnet. I only see about 3 to 4 alts as a testnet. I see the rest as just pure scams. Litecoin is one of the testnets. And I have an episode of my new podcast, Crypto Scam. The first one was Bitcoin, second one, OneCoin, and the third one, which I'm going to release this weekend, is about Litecoin. And I actually sit down with someone who thinks Litecoin is a scam, and I don't think of it as a scam. I think of it more of as a test net. And we talk about this and we hypothesize what happens if SegWit is successful on Litecoin, because the next step is Lightning Network. Will that also be adopted on Litecoin first? So it's going to be very interesting. It's hard for me to speculate. I don't want to speculate on the price of Litecoin, and I'm not sure what it will do for Bitcoin. I just hope that it speeds up the SegWit process in Bitcoin. So I'm on a slightly different subject. I completely disagree with global warming. The planet is actually cooling. Russia just hit all-time lowest temperature in a while. Europe was a disaster. I'm actually expecting a mini ice age by 2050. And the latest real research on climate change is showing that the planet has been cooling the last 20 years. So the whole global warming thing, in my opinion, is complete bullshit. But yeah, so I guess I'm one of the 5%, always the contrarian.
All right, well, that's good. You brought up your global warming opinion there. I don't know if we're not going to get
by the way, sorry, I also do have a degree in geology, so I'm not literally talking shit out of my ass.
Yes, this is true. Now, but the topic of the show, we're not going to get into the global warming stuff today. Although it's good to know your opinion on these things. Alex, going back to you, we're not going to talk about global warming. You do Bitcoin trading and everything. I don't do Bitcoin trading. That's not my thing at all. I tell people to buy and hold Bitcoin, but you're into your thing. So since you are a guest on my show and I'm a polite host, I have people with different opinions on, that do different things than I do. And Alex, by the way, give a shout out to your website also, even though I linked to it below. You've got a lot of things going on there. So Alex, I had asked you before the show started, what was your big news of the week in terms of Bitcoin? And I think you mentioned some, when to sell, when to buy, all that stuff. So take it away with what you think has been big in Bitcoin lately, but also mention your website so people check it out.
Okay. Yeah, so if people want to check out my website, is alexfortin.com. But we actually more similar than you think, because in our way of thinking about the buying Bitcoins. Because, yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask me, when should I buy, when should I sell? And really, Peter Lynch says that it's not because a stock went up in price that you should sell it. And, Charlie Munger calls it sit on your ass investing. So you just pick a great company, you just pick something great and you just buy it and you hold it for 25 years. So that's really how I see Bitcoin is, I don't think, watching charts every day, all day. I know some people love it, but it's just, I just have better things to do, or, and really think that holding for the long term Bitcoins, is the way to go. The Walton family, they're worth $8.7 billion. The Walton family created the Walmart. It's because they never sold their stock, right? They kept at it all their life, and now they're worth so much more money. So yeah, I mean the Bitcoin scarcity. You were talking about it earlier that the next halving, and I think you have the exact amount of days. It just creates so much less sales pressure, and it's just it's just going to make the price goes up because more and more people want to trade in Bitcoins, want to own it because it's a great store of value. It's proven more and more to be a great store of value. So yeah, when is a good time to buy? I think now. When is a good time to sell? I think never.
All right. So we are on the same page. I thought you were going to say, oh, you can sell now or sell late. Yeah, we're buy and hold guys. And I like that. I never heard of that sit on your butt theory that you had there, or just sit on it. Yeah, that's another way of saying, okay. So so you don't have a specific Bitcoin story of the week to share, anything like that, or that was your Bitcoin story of the week? Or
yeah, that was my Bitcoin story. I mean, yeah, people talked to me yesterday about ChronoBank too, and yeah, kind of just looping back there is just, yeah, don't get into those ICO, just kind of stay away. But
wow, I can't believe this Chrono. I had not heard of it until the guy asked about it, which I thought was odd. Okay, Bitcoin Globe. Do you have a Bitcoin topic that we haven't talked about, or that maybe you read about just in the chat that you want to talk about?
I have so many, and having you guys here, I would love to go through all these. I'm trying to sift through the ones I want to talk about most. Definitely happy Chinese New Year. The Chinese have been carrying Bitcoin in a lot of ways, and I would like for America to catch up. But I don't know if you saw the news article where a Hong Kong fintech company invests $30 million into Bitfury Group. I'm very interested in what that is all about. Let me link to that in the chat. But yeah, that's a pretty big investment into Bitfury. I don't know much about Bitfury. I know they do some hardware, software. Oh, I can't post a link in here.
Okay. Well, now this Bitfury, Tone, you know about Bitfury, right?
I know a little about Bitfury.
When you have stories about tons of money being invested into Bitcoin companies that are not, I mean, does it make that big of a difference now? I mean, it doesn't affect the price, I don't think. Tone, what do you got to say about all that? And what's your story?
It depends on the companies. I think Bitfury is probably one of 5 most important companies in all of Bitcoin. Bitfury has been very responsible with what they do. I like their stance on not mining empty blocks just because they can get the reward. They're probably the most responsible miner in the space. They don't sell their chips. They make their chips and they mine them. They don't feed into this cloud mining by selling them their chips, which is what Antminer does, right?
Tony, how many actual hardware, Bitcoin hardware manufacturers are there? I know Bitfury and Bitmain. Those are the only 2 I know and have come across.
The only 2 that probably are important.
Okay.
But I trust Bitfury more. And ironically, it's funny, I trust Bitfury more, and Bitfury is the more private of the 2.
Where do you go if you want to buy a miner? Like, just to play around with? Yeah, I'm not trying to make money. I just want to play around with it, show people what it is. Do I go to Bitfury? Do I go to Bitmain? I don't want to buy it all the way from China. I have it shipped here. Is there like an American
you gotta go to Bitmain. I don't think Bitfury sells them. They just use them.
Okay. So there's only one company where you can buy a miner.
I guess. I don't mind. I actually have no idea. I've never even thought about it. I've never looked into it. I think it's a losing proposition. I think you need to specialize in it. I mean, if you were mining back in the early days and you slowly got more and more specialized, you could have done it. Or you started one of those 2 companies, right? And everybody else failed. Look at KNC Miners, right? They failed. So,
Tone, I didn't ask you, what is your big Bitcoin story of the week? Something that hasn't been talked about yet.
It's got to be China, right? I mean, it's got to be the Chinese volumes. And it's like a story of the week, and it's not a story of the week at the same time. I got one of the publications messaged me the other day asking for a comment, and I'm like, I have no comment. I've been commenting for 2 years that the Chinese volumes are bullshit. They do not have 90% of the trading volume. It's all wash trading between each other and zero fee trading. And every time I saw people say that 90% of Bitcoin activities in China, I would call it out for bullshit. And I never trusted any of their exchanges. And now that all of that disappeared, their volume dropped like a stone. And I go, okay, I have no more comments, right? I mean, I've been saying this for years. So that is a story, even though it's not a story for me. This seems to be the story for everyone else.
Did you see Poloniex has #1 trading volume now? I thought that was kind of interesting. Poloniex is #1 in trading volume right now on CoinsMarketCap. But that was kind of.
But the question, but here's the thing, though, right? On that one, you got to separate Bitcoin to USD trading versus a Bitcoin to anything else trading, and I doubt Poloniex would be in the top 10.
Well, now this goes into my fake news type of stuff here. People for years now have been repeating the 95% China mantra over and over. It has become FUD to scare people off. People like Tone and myself, and thanks to Tone, that's why I took on the opposite, that it cannot be 90%. It cannot be 95%. If you travel around the world, or if you just go online, so much of the Bitcoin community is in English, for God's sakes. I mean, it was obvious that these exchanges were shady places with bots, and it was hard to believe. But the media, including the Bitcoin media, kept repeating this over and over again. And so with this, I want to talk about fake news in the Bitcoin media. And the first fake news thing that people they either do it for clickbait, or I don't know why they do, is they keep on mentioning Craig Wright, who might be Satoshi. It doesn't matter. He's like, why cover a liar? I think the only reason they do it is to get quotes now, or to get clicks. Now, I don't know, Alex, do you know about this? How this Craig Wright guy? How everyone the story keeps on coming back like the plague. Like, this guy might be Satoshi. Do you have comments on how the media, or why the Bitcoin media focuses on this? Do they have better stories to write about, or are they just naive, or is just the Bitcoin media thin? What's your take?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, they have a bias there. They want to sell newspaper. They want to sell click. So they're going to talk about anything that's controversial. The more controversial it is, the more click they get. So yeah, the whole Craig Wright story. I haven't talked to the guy, obviously, but yeah, it sounds like they're just trying to sell more click, more newspaper.
All right, yeah, good. Now the Bitcoin Globe. I've got a follow-up question. I want to hear your take on Craig Wright. Why does it keep on getting blown out of proportion? But all four of us here are in the Bitcoin media, whether we like it or not. And so what we say, it could come back. We have a reputation to maintain here. So I know there are people out there. Again, it's going back to cloud mining. Somebody posted on on the video I just made. He said, you know what? Why not just let people fail? Let people decide on their own to get in if they're gonna. But how can I, as a responsible human being, who is supposed to know about the cryptocurrency world, who gets paid to consult people, who gets paid to speak, I got paid to go to Mozambique to speak about Bitcoin. How can I just sit here and pretend like I'm naive and not call out things that I know are completely foolish? Like, some people say, oh, it's kind of fun getting these little payments back from these cloud mining places. It's fun. What kind of fun is that? I mean, it's insane. It's insane. You're getting ripped off. It's just wild. So okay, I'm going on.
I just have a quick comment on that. Right. Next time someone starts that argument with you, just tell them this. Right. What if your dad called you tomorrow and said he invested his retirement money into OneCoin? It's okay. Just you can fail.
That's
try that.
Yeah, there's the answer right there. That's the answer right there. That's why we have a responsibility here if we know something is complete BS. I mean, 99%, That might be it's probably 99.9, as Tone is pointing out with the cloud mining, and I hate to harp on this, even like the two legitimate cloud mining companies, they're not sustainable. The guys in charge of them might be naive and think they're sustainable, but they're not even sustainable. So why waste your Bitcoin? Why? For the pleasure of getting little bits of it back at a time? Are you like a cuck too? Do you like to see your woman? Okay, that's a grown up.
Whoa.
We're not gonna get. But I mean, it's the same type of thing. It's the same.
It's just greed. I mean, I've been there. I've invested in a lot of cloud mining, and it's just it's greed. You want more. Like, you see Bitcoin as this powerful thing, and you want more of it. It's a power thing, and
it's not even greed. I'll take it. I'll take it in a different direction, right? It's because cloud mining is the fastest way you can earn referrals. And that's why you're seeing these comments everywhere, because these people don't care, right? They're probably not even invested. They might have put in like, $5 into cloud mining just to get a referral fee. And now if they can get some people to invest, they make money, which is why referral fees are sometimes good and sometimes they're not that good. And I try not to bother anyone. Like, I've missed out on so many referral fees from Airbnb and from Uber. I just don't use it. I think the only referral fee that I should probably use, I use Project Fi as my cell phone provider, and there's a really awesome referral fee that benefits both people, not just you. Like, if I give my Project Fi referral fee, you make $20 and I make $20, and I'm like too lazy about giving that one out. But some people, it's their job. That's how they make money. They make money on referrals. That is all they do. So a lot of these cloud mining things, they're not serious. These people know nothing. This is just their job. And you have to just understand that and not get too upset over it.
That's well said. I mean, you have to look outside the US, where earning $1 a day would be huge, especially if you're earning it in Bitcoin. And so people are willing to share these referral codes in hopes of making just that small amount of change. You're not making much from these referral codes, but if you could just make $1 a day in India or wherever, it's a lot of money for these people.
Okay, I want to wrap this up real quick. We get this is the rest of the show, how it's going to go, because we got Craig Wright. I want to hear what Bitcoin Globe has to say about Craig Wright, then what Tone has to say about Craig Wright, and then all three of you will go over your closing thoughts. So take it away, Bitcoin Globe.
I don't really care who Satoshi is at this point. I used to read those articles when I first got into Bitcoin. They seem to pop up from time to time, and now it doesn't even. I'll use my time with something else.
Okay, Tone, I know what you think of Craig Wright, but what do you think about the Bitcoin media's fascination of Craig Wright? Are they digging their own grave and making themselves look like the freaking National Enquirer here?
I'm actually okay with it. I'm okay with the media and Craig Wright. I also haven't seen it in a while. There was a little bit of a craze at the time, but you know what? It's important. I personally don't care who Satoshi is. I hope he's never found, but I understand why people care who Satoshi is, especially people who are skeptical of a project where the creator is unknown. Remember, you're also catering to non-Bitcoiners. So I wish there was a little more investigation done on the Craig Wright issue, where they looked into his past and actually did some investigative reporting. I mean, hell, even the Bitcoin Uncensored guys went around Miami to the apartments there and trying to do some investigation on Satoshi. So that's the only thing that bothers me. I mean, other stuff bothers me. I mean, I understand why it's happening. Look, I'm in the media, you're in the media. The only way to put out, good content is literally not to get paid for it, because you only get paid for clickbait stuff, or you get paid for pumping scam coins, which is why I'm so angry at CoinDesk these days. I think they're a terrible publication because all they do now is cater to scam coins. Even like people always make fun of Cointelegraph, but even Cointelegraph I don't think was as bad as what I see from CoinDesk these days. It's just terrible, and that's my bigger problem with it. Just no one wants to define blockchain. No one wants to take a stand as to what Bitcoin actually is. Everyone wants to be politically correct, and that's what's really bothering me more. And again, I understand it coming from Cointelegraph. I used to write at Cointelegraph. It is a very decentralized publication with editors that barely spoke English. So you write something and you get paid. You used to get paid on the length of the article, then they changed it to how it moves through social media. So you can see how that dynamic might be different, but they barely ever CoinDesk is supposed to be a respected organization with editors that are watching what people say, but you need to hire the right editors. You need to, they should be doing this kind of investigative reporting that a lot of us are doing for free, and that's what's important, not the stuff that they're putting out these days.
Okay, there's very good points on the Bitcoin media. All right, we're going to start to wrap it up here. Alex, Fortin, tell us your closing thoughts, anything you want to share. Contact information, things that you just have read on the chat, or just any information you want to share, or opinions about Bitcoin or stuff we've covered today.
Cool. Well, first I want to say it's very nice what you do, Adam, getting us all together here to talk about Bitcoins, and yeah. So closing top, I guess Bitcoins, I think it's set to change the world, change how we transact with each other, and I think that's one of the greatest inventions that's happened lately. So, I think that the world would only be better now than it was before because of Bitcoins. And I just encourage people that, maybe they're the first time they join in, maybe they want to research it more, and do their own research, because we talk about a lot of scam today, and people, oftentimes they don't do enough research. They're going to spend a lot of time researching to buy a TV, but they're going to spend 15 minutes to invest their retirement funds. So I invite people to be more cautious and do more research on that.
Yeah, that's a great point. People care more. People do more research into wants than needs, actually, and that's a very good point. Bitcoin Globe, your closing thoughts.
Yeah, I'm thankful that we were able to get together, and hopefully we're creating value for the Bitcoin community. That's something I think about every day, is how can I, as an individual, create value for the Bitcoin community? And I feel like when we come together, as a community, we're bringing the value up in a positive way, which is great. I really wanted to ask this question to Tone Vays. I'm just going to ask real quick, or maybe anybody that knows anything about this. I just watched Banking on Bitcoin. It's like a new documentary on Bitcoin, and it was the first part was rather boring, but overall it was a pretty powerful film. And they were talking about Ross Ulbricht, who I didn't know much about, but he was only 23 when he was arrested. I guess he's the one that created Silk Road, and now he's in prison for life. So he created the Silk Road, and it's my understanding that he was arrested for that because he created Silk Road. Now he's in jail for the rest of his life because of that. So if we did find out who Satoshi was, would he go to the jail for the rest of his life for creating Bitcoin, which was used on the Silk Road?
All right, that's actually a good. So Tone, answer that question and then give your.
How long have you been in Bitcoin that you weren't familiar with that? I'm just curious.
3 years. I've been in Bitcoin for about 3 years, and I had, I saw the FBI agents that arrested him were actually put in prison for something like taking Bitcoin or something like that.
Yeah. So he got arrested on October 1st, 2013. So that's the day the Silk Road got shut down. And he's serving 2 life sentences. I was actually at his appeal hearing because they were trying to retry the trial, because during his original trial, the 2 federal agents were already, people knew about it internally, but they couldn't bring it up in a trial. Like during Ross Ulbricht's trial, one of the federal agents was already leave, and the other one was under suspicion, but the defense could not use that in his trial. And recently, a 3rd federal agent was at the appeal hearing and on it. You want to really check out Julia Turiansky and her YouTube channel. She was covering the trial. She was there the whole way through. I didn't attend the original trial because even though it was a job at the time, I still had a job, so I couldn't go. And it's an unfortunate situation. And yes, and this is what people don't understand, and I've said this many, many times. There is a reason why Satoshi, and who you will never know who he is, because he knew the danger that he would be in if Bitcoin actually took off. And this is the same problem that anyone else has in Bitcoin. Vitalik, I believe, is going to jail. A lot of other people are going to go to jail because they chose to be public figures instead of doing what Satoshi did. But they had to be public figures, otherwise they can't pump. So this is the issue. I actually really like Fluffy Pony of Monero, and he knows the situation that he's in case Monero actually takes off, because he's a public figure, but he's not a U.S. citizen or an EU citizen. So that actually works very well in his favor, kind of like Kim.com, who's not a U.S. citizen. So that's my comment on that. I don't really have any final thoughts other than please check out my new podcast, Crypto Scam, where we're going to talk about cloud mining and Litecoin and Monero and Dash and all of these crypto projects one by one. So it'll be one episode devoted to one project, and I'll try to get good guests for that. I don't know if you guys have any other questions, or if you want to know more about Ross Ulbricht. I've even written an article or two about him back in the Cointelegraph days. I was following that situation. And I was never a Silk Road user. I don't even know how the website looks like. I just knew that it was, an unfortunate incident.
All right. Well, that's a good conclusionary note. Fluffy Pony is a citizen of South Africa, correct?
Correct.
All right. So, hey, another reason to, travel around the world and make friends in different countries, because you never know when you'll have to live in a different country too. If you're an American citizen, I'm not saying that people are that are involved in Bitcoin, but you never know when you will be called a criminal when you haven't hurt anybody. So it's good to travel around so that you make friends in other countries and have other places to live just in case. So I guess those are my final thoughts. So anyway, I thank my guests for being on the show today. You can check out all of their websites. It's going to be linked to below this video. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, tweet it all out. Check out the notes section below. That's it. That was this week in Bitcoin. It was a great show this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. And of course, I will post a new video tomorrow. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, Adam.
Bye.
Bye.